and you are the one who will be relying on me for studying. Yeah, this will practically clear everything you need for studying Deerbrook by Harriet Martineau. Okay? Okay. So this article is written by Matthew Wilson, titling Deerbrook. Okay? Rendering Sociology on the Utopian Positivism of Harriet Martineau and the Mumbo Jumbo Club by Matthew Wilson. This is the name of the PDF. Let's go with the introduction. The core concept, Comte's Utopia and Sociology. Opening claim, H.G. Wells once said Comte's main gift was an intensely personal utopia of a Western republic. H.G. Wells once said Comte's main gift was an intensely personal utopia of a Western republic. Why this matters? Comte's sociology was not just history. Just a second, guys. Okay. So Comte's sociology was not just theory. It aimed to create a new social order. Sociology and utopia were linked. Comte's major works mentioned Cours de Philosophie Positive, Discours sur l'ensemble du positivisme. These are French names. Sorry, I can't say it. Key ideas from Discourse: every major social change is preceded by a utopia. Utopia is not fantasy. It is a preparation for social transformation. That is what Auguste Comte said. That every major social change is preceded by a utopia. Utopia is not a fantasy. It's a preparation for social transformation. Law of three states. We'll go with definition. Society evolves through theological stage, metaphysical stage, and then the last is positive stage, which is the scientific stage. So theological, metaphysical, positive. Meaning from religious authority to abstract philosophy to scientific knowledge. Social institutions based on superstition like church and whatever collapses. Okay, social institutions based on superstition collapse. Comte's political vision. Sociocracy. He wanted to, we have talked about Coleridge in one of our last videos. I talked about panthecocracy. Now we are talking about sociocracy. What is sociocracy? A moral government guided by sociologists. Sociologists are the spiritual authority here, and industrial leaders are just temporal powers. So in a sociocracy, the moral government is guided by sociologists. Sociologists are spiritual authority. Industrial leaders are temporal power. Republic Occidentale, featuring religion of humanity. These are very important. That is what Martineau has rejected. So Comte professed religion of humanity, new calendar honoring human heroes, not gods, new symbols like new flag, new currency, 500 city-states, and global confederation. So he basically wanted to change it all. Religion of humanity, new calendar honoring real humans, human heroes, new symbols, 500 city-states, global confederation. H.G. Wells claim, utopia is sociology's proper method. Utopias measure reality against ideal. So did Victorians practice sociology before it was institutionalized? Who knows? So utopia is sociology's proper method. Utopias measure reality against ideal. I still want to clarify this part. Hello. Go back to this PDF on the utopian positivism of Harriet Martineau and the Mumbo Jumbo Club. Just the introduction, the part of utopia. What is this about? What is utopia according to Auguste Comte? What is H.G. Wells claiming about that? Just let us study in short and in very simple language. Utopia is an ideal mode of society. Okay. Utopia is not like a fairy tale, fantasy land, what we all know. Utopia is basically an ideal model of society. It is a plan for a better society. Utopia helps us imagine a better world because we're trying to copy that ideal world, right? Compare it with reality, how far we are from the ideal world. It's like a benchmark. You check how far are we from ideal. Modern explanation, Ruth Levitas, utopia is how we want to live. And C. Wright Mills utopia is connects personal life with society. So utopia is thinking about improving society. Simple meaning, utopia is not a fake world, it's an ideal version of the real world. And what is Comte's idea of utopia? This is where Comte gets ambitious. A core idea, using science to redesign society completely. Comte's utopia includes new systems of society, society run scientifically based on laws of sociology, new type of government, sociocracy, just what I told you, sociologists guide society, moral authority are guarded by scientists, and workers plus industrialists are just practical power. Religion of humanity, no God, they worship humanity, new rituals, calendars, festivals, new social structure, global system of 500 city-states called Western Republic. Moral principle is live for others, altruism. Very simple meaning. Comte wanted a scientific, moral, organized society where everything is planned logically. So his utopia is not imaginary, it must follow real scientific laws to reach there. I hope we have understood enough. Okay. So what is the essay's aim? The essay which we are studying. Study 4 followers of Comte, out of which we'll only study Harriet Martineau. Okay. But we'll also go over the rest briefly. Harriet Martineau, J.H. Bridges, E.S. Beasley, Frederick Harrison. What method are we following? Rejects diffusion model, that is an influence transfer. Instead, we are doing a personalized world making intellectual history approach. Each thinker adapted positivism differently. 4 sociological archetypes. Martineau was the abolitionist feminist. Bridges was biologic historical. Beasley was sociopolitical, and Harrison was urban regional. So Martineau was what? Abolitionist feminist. Okay. Link, shared goal is the link, inner troubles, outer social structures. So we welcome to the Mumbo Jumbo Club. Oxford students read Martineau's condensation of Comte enthusiastically, led by Richard Congreve, founded British Positivist Society. Who was Richard Congreve? Congreve, yeah. He was a Broadchurch liberal, radical at Oxford, anti-imperialist, founded Church of Humanity. Society character, early applied sociology institute. Now we'll go to a quick historiography of sociology. Standard narrative. Sociology begins in 1903. Okay, so it was a sociological society. It focused on eugenics, town planning, ethical evolution. Problem: positivist society was ignored. Utopian sociology dismissed. So we had to redefine utopia. Ruth Levitas said utopia is how we would live ideally. Wright Mills says utopia is a sociological imagination that links biography plus history. Charles Taylor says social imaginary is equal to shared shared expectations shaping society. So key point is utopianism is performative. Utopians are actors, not dreamers. They are not just dreaming, they're acting it out. Utopianism is performative. Utopians are actors, not dreamers. Okay. So the final aim of introduction is Martineau and Mumbo Jumbo were very distinct but complementary. They applied Comte to real social reform. Positivism shaped both ideas and identities. Let's begin with Harriet Martineau, an abolitionist feminist perspective. Core identity of Harriet Martineau is she was an Enlightenment thinker, believed in social progress, and she believed that she believed education to be as transformative power. Early life, born in 1802, Norwich, Unitarian family, deaf, limited sensory capacity, encouraged rationalism and empiricism through the senses. She might not hear, but she can taste, she can see, she can say, right? Early essays on the art of thinking. Themes such as superstition harms society, promote reason, moral obligations to improve society. If you have not seen the video yet, please first see that video and come back. That Comte, the idea of progress for social progress for Comte was moral benevolence. So was Harriet Martineau, that moral obligations to improve society. Introduction to Comte, 1830, via Gustav D. Eichtal. That was how she got introduced to Comte. Exposure to Saint Simon, scientific elite guiding society. Illustration of political economy. Like I said, she is a master of so many genres. Again, if you have not studied her introduction, you will not understand anything. Go back to the first video of Harriet Martineau series and then come back here. So 3000 plus pages explained capitalism, addressed slavery, women's condition, industrial exploitation. Her goal was help poor manage welfare. Moral of Many Fables, which was published in 1834, that society must be restructured rationally. Hope for intellectual virtuous society. Hope for intellectual virtuous society. Women key to reform. How to Observe Morals and Manners, published in 1838. Early sociological methodology. Study institutions as moral evidence. Observe architecture, records, social objects. Society in America, published in 1837. Examine democracy, slavery, big time abolitionist right, women's exclusion, religious hypocrisy. Key claim was American civilization below its own principles. Letters on the Laws of Man's Nature, 1851, co-written with Atkinson, advocated science over theology, phrenology. Remember mesmerism? Remember that. Disbelief in orthodox religion. Translation of Comte, 1853. Condensed 6 volumes, okay, and brought it down to 2. Introduced hierarchy of sciences, law of 3 stages, theological, metaphysical, and positivist. Static and dynamic sociology, not literal translation, called it intellectual exercise because translation is not apolitical for sure. Omission, like I told you, not removed part referencing Religion of Humanity Church. She also said that if I don't speak about something, that does not mean I assent to it. Meaning, she accepted philosophy but rejected the organized positivist religion. Reaction, Comte praised her, Auguste Comte. English reviews were very hostile. It reinforced her social authority. Final assessment of Martineau, she applied the scientific method. Utopian hope in rational form, in rational reform. That you can get the utopian life you want, but you have to perform rational reforms, right? Operated independently, did not join Church of Humanity. J.H. Bridges we don't really need, but we'll still just give it a normal read. Physician, positivist believer, J.H. Bridges, by the way, fully embraced religion of humanity. Sociology rooted in biology, history. Okay. Excuse me. E.S. Beasley, identity, trade union advocate, political activist, radical historian. Trade union support, defended strikes, organized solidarity, supported emancipation. International policy, criticized British imperialism, called for universal church of humanity. Okay, so quite had tak yo. Frederick Harrison. Okay. That was it, by the way, the whole part. Good night. Take care. Bye bye. And with that, we come to an end of the Hurry.